You won't believe who made childhood icon Hayley Mills cry behind the scenes. We all grew up loving her. That sunshine smile, the cheeky charm, and the unforgettable double act in The Parent Trap. But what if I told you that behind all the wholesome Disney magic, one man made her childhood a nightmare? Someone she later said she hated more than anyone in her life. Yeah, this one's going to surprise you. Let's rewind for a second. Hayley Catherine Rose Vivian Mills, born April 18, 1946 in London, was literally born into showbiz royalty. Her dad? None other than legendary British actor Sir John Mills. Her mom? Mary Hayley Bell, a playwright and novelist with a sharp wit and deep imagination. With parents like that, Hayley didn't just grow up around creativity, she was steeped in it. She was acting out characters before most kids could read. But this wasn't a case of nepotism. At just 12, she was spotted by director J. Lee Thompson, who gave her the role of Gilly in Tiger Bay. The movie was gritty, emotional, and completely different from the candy-colored Disney world that would later define her. But even then, raw and unpolished, Hayley had something special. A spark. She held her own next to her real-life father and stole the show. Critics took notice. The BAFTA board did too, awarding her Most Promising Newcomer. And then, Walt Disney came calling. With Pollyanna, Hayley stepped into American households like a beam of sunshine. The role was sugary sweet, sure, but she added layers: curiosity, stubbornness, heartbreak. That wasn't just a performance. That was heart. She was so good, in fact, that she earned the Academy Juvenile Award, the very first one ever given. At 14. From there, it was a whirlwind. Disney was all in. They knew they had struck gold. She wasn't just acting, she was defining a generation. Kids idolized her. Parents adored her. Hollywood couldn't get enough. The Parent Trap, In Search of the Castaways, Summer Magic, The Moon Spinners, That Darn Cat. She was the face of family-friendly adventure. What's wild is just how big she really was. Back then, Hayley Mills wasn't just a movie star. She was a cultural moment. Her image was everywhere. Magazines, posters, fan clubs. She became a symbol of innocence and optimism during a time when the world was changing fast. People looked to her movies as a form of comfort. Something wholesome. Safe. But no amount of applause could prepare her for what went down during The Parent Trap. Brian Keith, her on-screen dad. Tall, gruff, and beloved by audiences for his rugged charm. But off-camera, Hayley would later admit, "He made me feel like I didn't belong." That's a gut punch for a teenager who was already dealing with the pressure of worldwide fame. Their relationship was tense from the start. Keith was old school, rough around the edges, impatient, and not exactly warm to young co-stars. He reportedly rolled his eyes when Hayley asked questions, mocked her British accent, and constantly referred to her as the Golden Goose, like she was some spoiled studio pet. For a sensitive, eager-to-learn actress trying her best, those digs cut deep. And then came the rumored blow-up. One day on set, Hayley flubbed a line during a high-pressure scene. Instead of brushing it off, Keith lost it. He slammed a chair, stormed off, and later told crew members that she ruined the rhythm. Imagine being 14 on one of the biggest films of your life, and having a grown man treat you like a burden. That moment, real or exaggerated, stuck with her. It marked a turning point. From then on, their working relationship was strictly business, and cold as ice. Hayley, to her credit, never let it show on screen. The chemistry she faked with Keith was so convincing, fans still believe they were close. But decades later, in interviews and private letters, the truth leaked out. "He made me feel small," she wrote. And in that one sentence you get the full picture. She carried that pain for years. But Hayley didn't let that moment define her. Not even close. As the 60s faded and her Disney era ended, she pivoted. Fast. The Trouble with Angels cast her as a mischievous schoolgirl, and Twisted Nerve took her into the realm of psychological thrillers. These weren't just new roles. They were statements. "I'm not a child anymore." She was determined to prove she could do more than just play sweet and innocent. And her personal life? Just as full of twists and turns. On the set of The Family Way, she met director Roy Bolting, 33 years her senior. Not exactly a textbook romance, but they connected deeply. They married in 1971, lived between London's trendy Chelsea and a literal windmill in the countryside. They had a son, Crispian, who'd grow up to be a rock star with the band Kula Shaker. But even with love and a family, things weren't easy. The age gap, the demands of fame, the shifting tides of Hayley's career, it all added up. They divorced in 1977. Next came Lee Lawson, another actor, and another long, serious relationship. They had a son together, Jason, but didn't marry. That romance too ran its course. Lee eventually married Twiggy, while Haley quietly kept working. She was never the tabloid type. Never out chasing headlines or causing a stir. She stayed grounded, even as the fame around her faded and transformed. Through it all she kept going. Stage roles, television series, West End productions. She never stopped performing. In the 2000s she joined Wild at Heart, a British TV drama that introduced her to a whole new generation of fans. And behind the scenes she was fighting a very real battle, breast cancer. But just like she did with everything else in life, she faced it with courage, grace, and a quiet strength that stunned everyone. In 1997, while touring for The King and I, she met actor Fergus Bomji. He was 20 years younger. But this time, Haley was the older one. The roles reversed, but the connection? Just as strong. They bonded over their love of theater, literature, and culture. They're still together today, living a quiet, art-filled life away from the spotlight. No scandals, no tabloid drama, just love, respect, and mutual creativity. And in 2021 she wrote it all down. Her memoir, Forever Young, wasn't some glittery tell-all. It was honest, reflective, and, at times, heartbreaking. She opened up about the pressures of fame, the burden of expectations, and yes, the darker moments too. Including her resentment toward Brian Keith. Not to trash him, but to finally say, "This happened. It hurt. And I've carried it for too long." In that book she shares something that sticks with you. She talks about how, even as millions adored her, she often felt invisible. Like the real her, the insecure teen, the ambitious artist, the sensitive soul, got buried under the image the world wanted to see. And that's something so many people, famous or not, can relate to. What's amazing about Haley Mills isn't just her career. It's how she never let the industry eat her alive. So many child stars fade out, burn out, or worse. But Haley evolved, grew, adapted. She stayed true to herself, even when the spotlight got too hot. She never tried to be anyone but herself. So next time you see that iconic scene from The Parent Trap, remember, behind that teenage smile was a young girl trying to hold herself together in the face of coldness, criticism, and a co-star who made her question her worth. But she made it, stronger, wiser, forever young, but never naive. If this story hit you like it hit me, give it a like, share it with someone who grew up on Disney classics, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in Haley's shoes? And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories from Hollywood's golden age. Because trust me, there's always more behind the curtain.